It is Flashpoint Friday. What's up, everyone? This is Austin coming at you. Your turnaround story starts here. Today, I have a very special person that I want to introduce you to. But before we get into that, I want to welcome you on this special Friday. It's a great day to be alive. I want to point out a couple things that we highlight throughout the show. Before I get to my guest, I have an incredible guest for you today. What an incredible turnaround story. And actually, hint, hint, one of the co-authors in our book. I'll get into that. One of the things we highlight during the show, and it's an invitation to you, we keep our hourglass going. And the hourglass is a reminder that what's passing through that center point is really what matters. And that's right now. So if you clicked on this, make sure you step in and get something from this interview today for you. And the other thing we do is we have the cowbell, because the truth be told, you can never have too much cowbell. But what the cowbell does, the cowbell it really highlights significant moments. It highlights moments throughout the interview that may resonate. Then that's the deal. So let me do this. I'm going to introduce the next guest, one of the co-authors in our Amazon best-selling book, Flashpoint, Your Turnaround Story Starts Here. 12 incredible stories and the lessons learned. So my guest is one of the authors in this book with an incredible turnaround story. I'm going to bring on Jason King here in just a moment. Jason, I met Jason through this project. And what I love about Jason, he's got a contagious energy. When I talked about the project, he said yes, and we figured out how to make it happen. And what's exciting about him, he's got an incredible, incredible turnaround story, something that happened to him at an early age. We're going to learn about his exciting opportunity with Les Brown and all the exciting things that he's doing to build his career. I know you're going to love him. Help me welcome my friend, my co-author, Mr. Jason King.
I tell you, that cowbell, you doing that all in Jersey. They might have heard you all in Jersey doing that.
I hope they did, Jason. I hope they did. So how you feeling today, man? What's going on with you?
I'm feeling good. Just doing what I need to do, every day hustling,
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's Jason's song. Every day I'm hustling. I have to pull that up. So yeah, I'm glad to have you today. You were in the book. This was a great project for you. I mean, how do you feel now that you're a published author?
I mean, it feels great. I didn't, when I was younger, I didn't really think about a book. And then when I started getting older, I was like, well, I think it's time for me to, write down my story. Because I actually write poetry too. So writing down my story was just one. Eventually I want to do a book of poetry. So yeah, so a lot of stuff that this book is going to come from.
I know it is. I absolutely know it is. And I know this is going to continue to propel you forward in your career. Tony's with us. Hello, Tony. She's so excited for you, she's saying. And we love the cowbell here on the
flag. Yeah, definitely love it.
So, I want to get people to know a little bit about you, Jason, because you have an interesting story from early on in your life. And it's okay with you. I'd like for you to revisit that and talk about what happened, because you have this incredible, I almost call it like this humble tenacity about you. You have this like great, you're great with people, the way your approach to life, but it's almost like, I almost say you're like a, gosh, how do I say this? You're like a lion when it comes to success, but when you deal with people, you're just so pleasant, and it's like you balance these energies so well. But let's talk about this earlier part where you had this adversity that happened to you. Is it okay to visit that?
Yeah. I do that on the regular now. Like I didn't used to. I would let people know what happened, but I didn't go in detail. But now, like, I've gotten used to it, told people my story, went in detail about it, not just the surface of it. It was an accident. I was hit by a car but it was a hit and run. So I actually was left for dead. Um, the reason why I was found was because there was a little boy near a pond. There's a pond near the church, and I got hit in front of the church, and the little boy heard me, and then they called the ambulance. The ambulance couldn't do anything, so they called the helicopter. There was a guy who came by, and he was an off-duty paramedic. So he got the helicopter. They took me to Wilmington to Children's Hospital. They couldn't do nothing for me, so they took me to up to Philadelphia to Children's Hospital. So yeah.
So you get hit by a car, and the person hit, and they leave.
Yeah, his license was actually expired, so yeah, he wasn't trying to get in trouble for that. But I mean, he got caught. But you know, I don't have any resentment towards him. I mean, it is what it is. When you have the resentment, you can't move forward. So
yeah. So do you remember being unconscious? Were you conscious during this? Like, do you remember anything?
well, I remember before actually. I did. I was in a summer camp, and my helmet was left outside, and my aunt accidentally ran it over. And I went down to visit my friend down the street, and I didn't have my helmet. And when I was coming back, that's what happened. I really don't remember, like, it's vaguely parts of it, but I remember those couple parts. And then my friend's mom called my mom and told her that I was hit by the car. So yeah.
God, so there was a young so there was a young boy nearby or something.
Yeah, there was a young boy nearby that actually heard the car. Because what happened was I hit the windshield and my head split open and he drove off. And the little boy, he heard it and he brought his mom with him, and they called the paramedics.
My God. And well, it's amazing that you've come out of that. And you want to talk about after, because I know you and I were talking a little bit
Yeah.
before you got on here, and how you had to learn to walk and talk. But do you remember? Do you have any memories of this, or were you it's just completely blank?
I had no idea what happened.
You just woke up.
Yeah, I just woke up, but the whole time I remember a dream. I swear it was like my birthday. I get bit by a snake. And then I just woke up. So I really didn't even know I was in an accident until I woke up.
Wow. And then now you wake up and you don't even know what happened. Do and you have to, like you said to me, you had to learn how to walk and talk all over it.
Yeah, I had to learn to walk and talk. I had to learn how to do everything that most people take for granted. So yeah.
Now that you look back on this, did this give you, like, because you were young when this happened? Did you having a different appreciation for life? Did it change the way you look at things now?
Oh yeah, I definitely look at life as one day you can be here and one day you can't. You're not guaranteed the next second. I mean, this is just one instance that happened in my life. There's been plenty of instances where you understand the value of a life, because once it's gone, you can't get it back. So yeah.
Wow. And I believe that this, because one of the questions I had from you, where does this drive come from? Does it come from that, or do you think does it come from something else?
Well, like I just like to get up and do stuff. I'm the type of person where I don't really like to sit very long. I go right to sleep. So I'm one of those people where you always see just like getting up and doing stuff. Like I have to do something. And then as I started my own business and I got around a lot of people, um, they were like, people need to hear your story. So that pushed me some more. And with me, it's kind of like I know you don't, and I wasted a lot of my life where I just kept a lot of my talents to myself. I was
Oh, well, let's talk about that. What do you mean you wasted? Like, how did you,
wasted where I didn't live to my full potential,
now,
where I wasn't even trying to go to the full potential. It was more like I was just existing. And I was always like before the accident, I was this bubbly little kid. After the accident, it got serious. I was very serious. So what you see now is like a combination of talking to people and people investing in me, where me not being so turned off by people. Like for a while, I didn't want to deal with nobody. I was just like, you know what?
yeah,
You stay your end, I stay my end, and you leave me alone, I leave you alone.
yeah,
So yeah, so
you're so
like
different now.
yeah, it's a totally different.
So
In a couple of years, it's been a totally different change. Yeah,
let me just share with people who are just joining. So Jason is a co-author in our book, Flashpoint. But his story is that when he was younger, he was hit by a car, and not only was he hit by a car, uh, it was literally your head hit the windshield, you
yeah,
split your head open, and the driver left. It was a hit and run.
yeah,
You were just left on the side of the road, and through this
yeah,
series of events, through
yeah.
a young boy that was nearby, a helicopter who was
Hmm.
an off-duty paramedic happened to fly over. Right? Correct?
Yeah. Oh no, it was he was driving by and then he called his job and then they got the
Oh,
helicopter.
he was driving by, and then they summoned the helicopter to get you. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
So what an incredible story. And then after you're just changed, that you're just all serious. And now you're trying to figure, because what a traumatic thing to happen at a young
Yeah.
age. And now you kind of went internal. It sounds like you kind of maybe had whether you knew it or not, you had this view of the world that wasn't good, right? You're starting to look
Yeah.
at the world maybe cynical, and then you're going internal.
Yeah.
But then what changed? Like, where did you evolve to go from there to get to where you are today? You're about to share the stage with Les Brown coming up here. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But what was that change, Jason, that led to you to be where you are today?
It was just a lot of growing up. I graduated on time from high school. I got held back.
Great job, man. Great job.
That story is just when I tell people the reason why they held me back and what they did, I was just like, you know what, it was a dumb decision, but you know it is what it is. After I graduated high school, I started really getting to know myself. I I went right into college. I didn't make that transition good. So I got really depressed. I stopped college for a while. I went to work, and then after I started working, I started meeting different people and starting to slowly figure out who I was and coming out a little bit more. And then as I got older, started meeting more people where they saw my value, like even before I saw it. One of my teachers, and I found out he passed away like this year or last year. He was my study hall teacher, and he was talking to me and everything, and he saw something in me that I didn't even see. And
Yeah, wow.
he introduced me to a teacher. His name is Mr. Robertson. To this day, like he was one of those teachers where he was my first teacher of the day, and he was like, "Hey, how y'all doing today?" And I'm just like,
What's his name?
"Mr. Robinson. He teaches at
Mr.
Delaware
Robertson.
High."
Let's give a shout out to Mr.
Yeah.
Robertson. This kind of
So
reminds me of Les Brown's story.
yeah, like I'm like it's 8:30 in the morning, and I'm just like, "Yo, he's too hype." So he put me in these leadership roles. He was like, "You're a leader." So like every time it was like a group project, he always had me as the person, the go-to person. So and now he actually teaches my niece. So like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm raising the standard for her, knowing that Mr. King is her uncle."
Mr.
So
King. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
great name, by the way.
yeah, he gave me. He was calling me Mr. King. Way before I actually hit that level. But it's just a lot of people who took time with me and just let me see my value. I grew up with a depression. I was suicidal for a while, and I've been from the bottom working myself up to the top. So I mean, yeah, it's been a journey. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still going.
No, and it's great to bring up people like Mr. Robertson. Robertson or Robinson?
Robinson, Mr.
Robinson.
Robinson. Yeah,
It's great to have, and think about, maybe there's people in our lives that we forget about, some of us that have had an impact. I mean, I know there's people that have impacted my life. Without them, I know I wouldn't be here.
yeah,
I know it. And this sounds like that's the situation here. And here you are at your, just complete turnaround of where going from depression, suicidal, and now you're about to share the stage with Les Brown, man, like in the next couple weeks or whatever, next few weeks.
Yeah.
How like that's incredible.
Yeah. It definitely is. Coming from a person who is naturally, I'm shy. I don't want to be in the spotlight. So doing this has been a very, very getting out of my comfort zone. So yeah, like I never would have imagined.
That's what we do here, man. That's what we do. We want you out of your comfort zone because we know that that's where you grow. And I'm going to honor you, encourage you for being on the show here, for being in the book. And I really want this to be a major catalyst in your story, and I trust it will be as it evolves.
Yeah, definitely will. I mean, going from not really talking in front of people to like doing this is just like, yeah, big transformation. Never expected to be doing this. Yeah. Not even 1,000 years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes you really special, Jason, because a lot of people just call it what is they get in here for the spotlight.
Yeah.
It's all about the attention, but clearly that's not you. You're here because you want to make a difference.
Yeah.
You've had this traumatic kind of journey that in this up and down. Now you're here and you want to get out there and get over that. You're getting over that shyness, and you're sharing a positive message with the world.
Yeah. Like with me, and it's still when people start talking about me, and I was just like, man, like I come from a big family. I'm like, my mom was one of 7, so I have a lot of uncles, a lot of cousins, a lot of aunts. So it's kind of like I got to the point where I really didn't want the spotlight because everybody was fighting for it. So I didn't mind being in the background. So now it's kind of like when people talk about me, I'm just like, who are they talking about? Like, I've lived in my own little world, and now I'm starting to let people in because for a long time I was just like, I had people at a shoulder's length. I mean, arm's length. Like you weren't going to get close and
you were doing social distancing long before it was possible.
Right. I was just like, right. There was a shirt that my nephew actually bought me. I think it was like "You're Too Close" or something like that. I was just like, if I wasn't in business, I would wear it in public all the time. Yeah. So just being able to everybody doesn't deserve to get to know the real you, but the people who deserve to get the real you can't keep them at arm's length because then you won't really learn. Because if I kept everybody at arm's length, I would have never met you. I would have never met any of the business partners I met. And it's kind of like, it's not just business, it's family. Like,
That's so good, man. Yeah. And that's really what it's about. At the end of the day, it's about the relationships that you form, and then we get to play and do business and have fun together as well.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to capture because I think it's really valuable, Jason. And you may not have all the answers here, and
Yeah.
it might be a little difficult, but there's a lot of people that have been wronged by other people.
Yeah.
There's been injustice done. There's people that have been wronged by others.
Yeah.
And I put you in that category because of what happened to you.
Yeah.
Clearly this was a dramatic injustice, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, the gentleman was caught, but his intention was to not get caught.
Yeah.
Right? And here you are. How did you come to grips with that? Like I heard your answer earlier about, you understood that resentment prevents you moving forward.
Yeah.
What did this, what did you do to get free from that?
Like, really, I never, because he asked for forgiveness a long time ago.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, like I remember he had his own kids. He had a whole family. He actually I don't know if he still lives down there. He lived down the street from my house. So it's like he probably saw me because everybody knew me and where I was at, because it was like the little guy on the little boy on the bike. So like once that happened to me, everybody knew about it because I come from a very small town. But he was like, yeah, I have my own kid. He was crying. So I was just like, they asked me, would you want him to go to jail or house arrest? And I was like, I don't want him to go to jail, So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like when I was younger, I had like the Martin Luther King attitude. I'm working on that whole thing of people doing you wrong, and
I can feel that. That's why I asked that question, because I know it's a deep river,
Yeah.
and and just maybe that's a calling for you at some point. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out here live here that maybe there's more work to do there for you.
Yeah.
Because people need to feel the power of healing. They need to feel that the people that have been wronged, the power to forgive is such an incredible power. And then the person who's done the wrong, it's like the gift of freedom, and it's like there's a part of you don't want to give it.
Yeah.
You don't want to give it to them. They don't deserve it.
Yeah.
But here you are, a young person here, and they ask you, do you want this guy to go to jail? And you say no.
Yeah.
So whether you knew it or not, you were practicing something that runs deep.
Yeah.
So kudos to you on that. Let's shift gears here a little bit. We have about maybe 7 minutes left. Let's talk about your future. What you're doing today and what you want to do moving into the future. You got this big conference. Maybe you can share a little bit about that. I'll put your email up here so people, if they want to connect with you directly.
Yeah.
You're busy, but you're accessible for the most part.
Yeah. So with this, I want to yeah, you're not too far off. Yeah, but with me, just being able to live the life I'm supposed to live, because I'm not anywhere close to where I'm supposed to be, but I'm closer than I was a year ago. So like just being able to not only get myself to where I'm living my life the way I should, that I'm helping so many other people to do it. Cause since I've been able to come out and do some stuff, I've been meeting so many people who are homeless, and I'm like, right now I'm not at the point where I can help them out, but I see myself doing so much more than what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to make a lot more money. You're going to make more money in the future. You're going to be able to do more, and it's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any big, visions? Do you have a vision for yourself that you see?
my first big goal, like with the speaking, is I went to my first NFL game. Somebody from my business actually gave me a ticket. And his name is Mr. Worthy from my business. And I saw myself,
okay.
yeah, I saw myself actually, I'm a big Ohio State fan. Like, I've been an Ohio State fan
Ohio State
before they were good. And I always said, you know, no matter what, I'm gonna be an Ohio State fan. So I saw myself being able to have my first big speech at Ohio State Stadium. And somebody from I think it was Eric. No, it was Rob who actually talked to me about Rob Boyle. He was like, check out Les Brown's first speech. And he did his first speech in the stadium. So yeah, I got big dreams. If you're not dreaming big enough where people are
again, if you're not what?
If you're not dreaming big enough where people are like, how is it gonna do it? Like, you're not good enough. You're not dreaming big enough. I mean,
that's a good one, man. Yeah, dream big. And if you say your dream and it doesn't shock people or shock you,
yeah,
you're not dreaming big enough.
Yeah, because we talked. My dream before I was hit by a car was to run the Olympics. That was my big dream.
And, yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a runner as well, and it's so cool that you wanted to be in the Olympics.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't where I was supposed to go. I found out about Spartan races, so I'm gonna get into those, and yeah. So
there you go.
Yeah, so the Olympics thing may not happen, and somebody was talking to me a couple of years ago. They were like, you can still be able to do it. I was like, I don't think I have the will. I want to do it. That's a lot of work. I don't think I would want to go back through that. Just like, I'm not the type of person now where I can just keep on running. Now, if you throw in like some weights and everything, oh yeah, I'll work on doing that. So, just being able to pivot from, what life has done. Yeah.
You never know, Jason. You never know. I'm telling you, I've seen it so many times, especially in running, where, what's his name? I can't think of. I think it was Louis Zamperini. You know Louis Zamperini?
I might have
heard him. He was in the movie Unbreakable.
Okay, yeah.
He was in the Olympics.
Okay.
And he was supposed to run the 400.
Yeah.
And he failed.
Yeah.
He didn't make the Olympics in the 400, but unbeknownst to him, he tried the 800 and he qualified for the Olympics. And then he goes to the Olympics, and this is like before World War II.
Yeah.
He meets Hitler.
Oh, wow.
Before his run. And so my point is that, you never know how it's going to show up in our lives. We may think it's one way, but God has different plans, and you are going to participate in some form of that.
Yeah.
What was a dream? It'll happen again. So we're into the final minute, final shares, ways to connect with you. I got your email up.
Yeah. I mean, you can, look me up on Facebook. I'm the only one, Jason King, Hartley, Delaware. Yeah. So, I'm just living my life where I can inspire somebody else. Yeah.
Jason, thank you so much for being with me today. Love you, brother. I'm glad you're in the book. We're going to keep moving.
All right.
This is Austin, Jason from Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Friday.
All right.